If you are an estate agent or letting agent and you feel that you need something different to progress your career, to make you happier, and make a difference in your agency, then today I'm joined by Ellie from Peter Clark, who has been through that transformation with the help of Agents Together. Ellie, thanks for joining me today.
Hi.
Ellie, you are an associate partner at Peter Clark Estate and Letting Agents, and I'm sure other things in the wonderful town of Chipping Campden in the Cotswolds. Why did you think you needed help and guidance when, if you don't mind me saying, you're a young lady, you've been made associate partner, you don't need any help, do you?
I think that was almost the point. It's when you start in this career, obviously your aspiration is to have your own office. And I think basically I sort of got to that point, and then you kind of go, well, is this where I want to sit for the next 20 years? Actually, it's not saying this isn't enough, but actually just having someone to talk through that sort of removed from actually being within the company to go, is this enough? You know, am I satisfied with where I've got to? And actually what more is there that I can do here if nothing else, but actually also, you know, just sort of talking through the options. So yeah, that it was almost because I had got here that I needed someone to talk to.
And sometimes you can't say that to your bosses, can you? Because obviously
No.
there's a relationship there. So, I mean, and again, a note to all the boys and girls out there, you know, that when you're an egg, you look up to the valuer and you put the valuer's role on a pedestal. And then when you get to the valuer, you think, oh, well, that's okay. Now I'm looking up to the branch manager's role. And when you get there, you think, is that it? And I think sometimes you need to realize where you've come in life and look where you've come from. But as you rightly say, Ellie, you've got to look at where you're going, and that might be staying where you are, but it might also be kicking on and to the next level. So you reached out to Agents Together, which any estate or letting agent can do, whether you're a neg, a valuer, a branch manager, at whatever level you are. For mentorship, I mean, what did you see some of their adverts, or how did you come across Agents Together?
It was you and Sam at a RAN meeting.
Right, good. That's what we like to see.
Yes.
And
so chatted to Sam afterwards, and in fact I was originally thinking about it because I've got a training negotiator with me who's been with me for about a year, and I thought actually for her this is fantastic. It's you know, someone she can talk to outside of it. But you know, I always say to all my team, you know, there isn't a role in my job that in the company that I can't do. I always make sure I can do what I tell them to do. So I didn't want to tell her to try out this mentoring thing without trying it out myself. So it just made sense. And in fact, she has already enrolled. So she's actually started on the mentoring, having a mentor herself.
Is that recently for her?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you seen any difference with her and her mentoring?
She's only just sort of started quite recently, but there's definitely some ideas that are coming through. With her, it's very much about sort of confidence, and yeah, there's already some ideas coming through, which is really good.
And and again, I know we're talking about you as a mentee, but I just would like to use this opportunity. How do you feel about one of your colleagues who you basically manage and lead being given an advice and opinion from a third party? Surely you were a little bit nervous, weren't you?
Well, so long as he doesn't tell her to leave, it's fine.
But you can see the early embryonic signs of a colleague who's getting better. But let's come back to you. Who were you matched up with? Who did Sam match you up with?
Stephen Hayter.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, big name in the game.
Yes.
Did you feel that was just a case of they just matched you with the next person on the list, or do you think you were actually matched with what you wanted?
To be perfectly honest, when my first conversation with Stephen, I wasn't 100% sure, but actually the more we got to know one another, and I think the more I sort of understood what the process was and you know what we were talking about, he was just fantastic. I mean, there just isn't anything he doesn't know. There isn't anybody he doesn't know in the industry. Just to have a sounding board, someone just to sense check, you know, even the most simple things against is just fantastic. And obviously, you know, having that confidence of knowing it goes no further is really, really good.
And I think that's a big piece of advice, boys and girls, is don't judge your mentor or mentee by the first session. You've got to get to know each other, know, like, and then eventually trust before you actually blossom. So Stephen has basically, what would you say, has helped and guided you on where you're going? I mean, if I asked the partners of the firm, I know you're an associate partner, would they say that you have changed, you know, for the better?
I hope so. Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think it's just helped me realize where I'm at, you know, and how to refocus almost. Because I think also, you know, you can potentially almost get a bit of apathy in terms of, well, I'm here and I'm market leader, and you know, I've done it. So sit back and actually, you know, we can't do, you know, and we've sort of been able to do that for the last year or so because, you know, the properties and the buyers have just come to us. It's been, you know, easy agency, and actually that's not going to be the case moving forward. And actually, I think it's, you know, it's just helped me realize that actually, you know, we've constantly got to be making sure we're doing the basics right, just because if we're not, then nothing else is going to happen.
So would it be fair to say that with through Stephen's guidance, sounding, it's not training, is it? It's just someone listening to you and guiding and supporting you.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much when we first chatted, I didn't even really know per se, you know, what I wanted to chat to him about. So he very much helped sort of focus my thoughts, you know, and what I was thinking, which you know, in itself is really helpful because you know, when you're sort of coming into something like this and like, well, you know, I'm fine where I am, and you know, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
to just be able to help break that down into a more structured conversation, and then obviously look at creating some goals around that it was fantastic.
I think the magic thing is, boys and girls, is that if you look at all the sports stars and other high, you know, athletes of those sort of ilk and business people, is that you can't know all the answers, and sometimes the best way to get the answers is to someone to ask you the questions. And that's the magical thing about a mentor, is that they won't give you the answers, they'll give you the questions, and they won't, you know, you've still got to walk the walk, and you've still got to walk down the path, but they've been on that path and they can guide and support you on that journey. What would your message be to any estate or letting agents? I mean, obviously, you know, it's going to be positive because you're on this and you've got your colleagues on there as well. But what would your final message be to any estate or letting agent thinking, you know, I want some guidance and support and some direction in my life as an agent? What would your message be about reaching out to agents together?
Oh, absolutely do it. I mean, I think just given everything that we've all been through over the last few years anyway, I think the fact that there is this support network out there now, you know, I think, you know, the stuff that you're doing on sort of mental health awareness as well, you know, I think it's fantastic. And actually it's not something that we all talk about. It's that stiff upper lip and, you know, just crack on. And actually, I think we need to have the confidence to be able to turn around to someone and say, actually, I'm not quite sure everything is okay. And having someone that's slightly removed from your day-to-day life to do that and knowing that it's in confidence, I think is amazing.
There you go, boys and girls. Ellie, thank you for your time today. And as I said, if you are an estate or letting agent and you are wanting some guidance and support, someone to be on your side, to point you in the right directions, to ask those difficult questions, but not to judge, then you can get mentoring at no cost to you. No catch. There's no catch, is there?
No.
No catch.
No.
You'll be happier, more content. Well, there you go. It's a win-win situation. So, Ellie, thank you for your time today. If anyone wants any more information, there's either a link above or below. I never know where it is. They don't tell me that. I'm just here to do the interviews. Ellie, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And more importantly, thank you for watching. Thank you.